I have this memory where I used to watch a Black Panther cartoon when I was younger, but as far as I can tell, and as far as I can find on the internet, that show doesn't exist. So I don't I don't know where that memory came from. This weekend I saw Black Panther and I thought it was going to be one of the best, one of my favorite Marvel movies to date. Was I right? So this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you don't want any spoilers, click to that time right there to get my final words on the movie so that you don't get spoiled. So Black Panther is about Prince T'Challa taking over the role of King of Wakanda because his father died in Captain America Civil War. So now he has to take on the duties of being king of this country. And he's still kind of inexperienced, so he's not too sure about himself. He's not too sure about being the leader. He makes some decisions that not everybody agrees with. But then this other guy comes in, he becomes king, and then he's got to get Wakanda back, and that's more or less the plot of the movie. Okay, so we're going to separate this into pros and cons. So I'll talk about what I like about the movie first, and then what I didn't like about the movie next. The movie was really funny. There were some really funny jokes in it that I laughed out loud for. There was another scene, just like the last movie I reviewed, where somebody did something and they flew across the room, and I thought it was hilarious. There was a joke where this guy's like, if you don't stop talking, I'll feed you to my children. Just kidding, we're vegetarians. Like, that was really funny. There was a lot of moments in this movie that were really predictable, but one moment that wasn't predictable was when the gorilla tribe came in to help at the end. I genuinely didn't see that coming, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that they were just going to sit back, and they were going to be the main villains of the second Black Panther movie, which they very well might be still, but I thought that was going to set up for it. It was really cool. The black and the silver looks really dope, and then when it glowed purple, that was so cool. The costume was gorgeous. Oh, the technology in the movie was really cool, too. Another thing that was gorgeous was the country of Wakanda. You take this African architecture, and you futurize it up. Yeah, is that a word? You take this African architecture, and you give it, like, a future vibe to it. Like, you mix traditional African architecture with futuristic looking architecture, and you get Wakanda, and it was gorgeous. I've never seen anything like that in a movie before, and it looked absolutely amazing. If you go back and you look at Captain America and the Avengers and Civil War, the colors are kind of muddy. They're kind of various shades of gray. It's very unsaturated. But lately, the Marvel movies have been a lot more colorful, and Black Panther is no exception to that. The movie was very bright. It was very colorful, and it really helped the movie look nicer. I mean, it's a Marvel movie. What do you expect? It was funny, it was entertaining, it was action-packed, the fight scenes were well choreographed, etc., etc. It was a Marvel movie. Like, that's what you're gonna get. And on the topic of it being a Marvel movie, it did one thing that so many other Marvel movies have done. Like Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor kind of, Captain America, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man. All of those movies have taken the hero, gone, what would it be like if they were evil? And then made that the villain. And that's exactly what this movie did. Kind of. One of my biggest gripes with this movie, so you have Andy Serkis playing Ulysses Klaue, which is a really big Black Panther villain since he steals the vibranium from Wakanda. But in this movie, they kill him halfway through the movie. They kill the main villain halfway through the movie and then introduce this new main villain. Granted, the new villain was introduced in the beginning of the movie, but he was a side character and we know nothing about him. So then you have this new villain. You don't really have much time to care about him, I guess. But then he becomes a villain. That's just another Black Panther. I was really excited to see Ulysses Klaue get this really cool robot arm that he would just rep throughout the rest of the movie. But he didn't, because he died halfway through the movie. And I guess the reason they did it was so that Michael B. Jordan's character had a reason that the Wakandans would let him in. But all he had to do was just show them his bottom lip and they would let him in. But they killed Ulysses Klaue and I was really disappointed with that. And I was really disappointed because the new villain that took over the spot of this villain that is very different from the main hero ended up becoming a villain that was just like the main hero. So in order to become Black Panther, to become the King of Wakanda, you have to fight the current Black Panther / King of Wakanda in combat and either get them to yield or kill them. And they did this thing in this movie that so many other movies do, where they kill the main character, but they so don't kill the main character. Come on, it's called Black Panther. Do you really think that he was dead after he got thrown off that waterfall? Absolutely not. So later on, you find out that gorilla tribe found T'Challa's body and brought them to their place. So after you have Michael B. Jordan's character throw him off the waterfall, you don't have to like explicitly show who's grabbing them. Just show somebody's hand pulling him out of the water. Because everybody knows he's not dead. Like, come on. Was it supposed to be such a big shock that he was alive? I guess it was a big shot of how he survived, but still, show us something so we're not supposed to just go along with we think he's dead. There were some moments where you could really see the CGI. Like in the first time you see that waterfall where they have the duels, you see all these people standing on like a cliffside, and that didn't look good. When Black Panther and evil Black Panther are standing on like the outside of that cave looking at the sunset, and there's a wide shot where you see them kind of like if the camera was right there to them, that looked awful. One of the last shots of the movie, when that ship came down and all the kids were standing around it, I didn't think that looked very good either. Overall, the effects were good, but there were some that really stood out, and I was like, oh god. My last problem with the movie, which isn't really a problem, it's just I wish they had done this instead. At the end of the movie, there's a kid who walks up to T'Challa and he's like, "Who are you?" And in the Black Panther soundtrack, there's a song where Kendrick Lamar says the line, "I am T'Challa." And I thought it would have been really cool if they had played that song right at the end credits, like after the kid asks and he said, "I'm T'Challa." I guess that would have been too predictable, which kind of goes against everything I've said for this whole review. So in the end, Black Panther isn't as high on my list of Marvel movies as I hoped it would be. It has some of the problems that pretty much every Marvel movie has, but it was still enjoyable nonetheless, as most other Marvel movies are. So my final rating for Black Panther is mediocre at worst. So that's it for my review of Black Panther. Stay tuned for next week when I talk about the movie Game Night. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know so I can be sure to do more of these. In the meantime, my name is Ian. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye! Wait, what? Well, now it's time to talk about the post-credit scenes, and I figured I'd do that after the video. You know, like the post-credit scenes. So the first one is T'Challa talking to, like, the nations of the world, saying that Wakanda has not been helping for a very long time, and now it's time to start helping. That was cool. You get to see what he's all about now and what he's going to start doing. And one of the guys is like, "Oh, what is Wakanda going to be able to do?" And then you see T'Challa just kind of give a smirk, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And the second one, after all of the credits, you see Bucky Barnes walking out of a hut with one arm, and T'Challa's sister saying, "Come on, let's go get training." My sister pointed this out, and she is 1,000% right. He totally has Thor's hair, just brown instead of blonde. It kind of sets up for Infinity War, but I guess we'll see when that comes out. I don't know how to end this since I've already done the outro.